Continuing to follow breaking news in Ashland City this morning. That's where a massive fire has ripped through a business. News Channel 5's Deja Knight's been there all morning for us. So Deja, from what you can tell, is this a total loss?
Definitely a total loss. You know, this is called the V Tavern and Cafe. It's a restaurant and bar, but also it had 3 apartments on top of it that people were living in. All of it gone this morning. You can see the smoke behind me. They're having a difficult time trying to put this thing out. And then also take a look at this video we shot earlier from Sky 5. You can see this bird's eye view, just how big the smoke was just a little bit earlier. And this started at 2:30 this morning. So they have had some huge issues trying to put this out. The roads here on River Road and Sam's Creek Parkway have been closed. So it's been difficult. Now, let's go ahead and show you a little bit more video that we took earlier of some flames and some smoke. They have no idea how this started, but they did say that everyone got out okay, and that is the most important thing. So as soon as they get this fire completely out, that's when the fire marshal will actually be able to go inside and figure out how it started. And of course, we're going to keep in touch with the investigators here in the fire department, and as soon as we find out any more details, we will pass it along. We're live in Ashland City. Deja Knight, News Channel 5 HD.
Deja, thank you. Also breaking this morning, a father and his 3 children are now homeless after a fire ripped through their Murfreesboro home. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley is in the newsroom. He's been following this story. And Cuthbert, any idea how this house fire started?
At this point, no. Investigators were out there late last night into the early morning hours to try to determine a cause of the fire, but they said they had to leave just because it got too dark for them to make any conclusions about what may have led up to the fire. But take a look at some of these pictures that viewers sent us last night. This gives you a really good indication of just how big these flames were, ripping through basically the whole roof. Crews say this fire broke out around 11:30 on Belle Reeve Drive. That's in Murfreesboro. By the time Murfreesboro fire officials got out there, they say the entire roof was just collapsed. They had to attack this home from all angles, from outside, inside, from the roof. You can see with that ladder crew they had there. They really, any angle that they could, they did fight it with. The biggest concern was that the flames and the smoke would spread to other homes in the neighborhood, so that's why they were so focused on making sure this fire was put out as quickly as it could. And this video that we shot this morning really gives everyone a great indication of just how damaged this home is. Really nothing remains but the outer shell of this home. The windows are blown out. The roof is completely caved in. Officials are calling this home just a complete and total loss. But again, no injuries this morning. The father and his children thankfully were not at home when the fire broke out. They did come to the scene, obviously, as this news spread, but we're being told that there were absolutely no injuries. And the American Red Cross was also called out to the scene, but the father said thankfully they did have a place to go last night. Now, investigators will be out there this morning to continue determining the cause of the fire. So far, though, this does not appear suspicious, but of course we'll be updating you as we get updates throughout the morning. We're live in the newsroom this morning. Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Cuthbert, thank you. Also new this morning, a man and woman had to be freed from a vehicle after they crashed into a telephone pole. It happened just before 2 o'clock this morning on Smith Springs Road at Anderson Road in Antioch. Police say it appears they were speeding when they lost control. Fortunately, aside from some cuts and bruises, they're expected to be okay. A convicted murderer just linked to a 30-year-old rape case is expected in court today. Hendersonville police say DNA testing led them to 50-year-old Lane Edwards. He's accused of kidnapping and raping a 12-year-old girl back in 1985. For years, police had no idea who did it until they decided to reopen the case. Edwards is already serving time in state prison for rape and murder. He now faces an additional 20 years to life if convicted of these latest charges. Also expected in court this morning, a former Donaldson Christian Academy Spanish teacher. David Turner faces more than a dozen charges, including aggravated sexual battery for allegedly abusing 2 of his students. They were just 7 and 8 years old at the time. Sex crimes detectives started investigating Turner last February after parents reported their children had been touched inappropriately while at school. And Sandy Calvert, the Sumner County man accused of shooting, then dismembering his father-in-law, is also expected in court today. The 42-year-old was arrested last February. He's suspected of killing, then decapitating 67-year-old James Hudgens in Hendersonville. A motive is still unknown, but since his arrest, Calvert has been held without bond in the Sumner County Jail. An accused sexual predator and Army deserter has been tracked down by U.S. Marshals. Marshals found 31-year-old James Johnson yesterday at a home in Brentwood. Hopkinsville police have been looking for the Master Sergeant since he didn't show up for court 10 months ago. He faces 120 counts of first-degree sexual abuse of a minor under 12 years old. He was reported as well as a deserter from Fort Campbell last November. And first it was a cross torched right in front of a church, and now there's been anti-Semitic graffiti sprayed in that same neighborhood. Clarksville police have the same investigator working both of these cases. The latest is this bit of graffiti on a stop sign. It's just down the road from the church. Neighbors don't like it, but they also say theirs is not a neighborhood of hate.
Whether it's for real or considered to be a joke or kids playing a prank or whatever, I think that kind of thing probably goes a little too far. There's just too much of a connotation to that kind of thing.
And Clarksville police say they're still searching for clues, but on Thursday, New Hope Baptist Church on Rossview Road this next Thursday is hosting a community meeting and a unity support rally. And some sophisticated crooks managed to steal a wallet, crank out a fake ID, and then go on a spending spree, according to Franklin police. Here's one of the people that they're looking for right now. Police say the suspects took the wallet from the victim's purse that was hanging from the back of her chair while she ate. And within no time, the thieves used the ATM card to the tune of $3,000. Then they got more money at the victim's bank by presenting a freshly made fake ID. So if you recognize either of these people, call Franklin police. Meanwhile, a SWAT team raid in Franklin turned up more than expected. SWAT went to a home on West Main looking for some wanted felony suspects, but while there, they found Crystal Berry hiding in a closet. She's wanted for a break-in at Brentwood Point condos. She was arrested without incident. Metro police have identified the man they say stole cash from a woman's purse in a hospital waiting room, and it turns out they already had their man. Detectives got a tip Wednesday that the man they were looking for was 33-year-old Virgil Baker. Baker just happened to be arrested the day before for not showing up in court. And now, in addition to that, he's also facing theft charges. And check this out. A Mid-South attraction has made a worldwide list. The sinkhole at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green has made Yahoo's list of world's scariest sinkholes. You may remember that sinkhole opened up back in February and swallowed 8 collectible Corvettes. Another sinkhole on the world list could be found in Alabama, the Bahamas, and in New Zealand.